I'm Robert Scoble, and you might know me as an iPad freak. I was first in line at the Palo Alto store for the iPad. I have 3 of them. My kids have them. My wife has one. My dad has one. So I'm very familiar with what the iPad does. I have hundreds of apps on it, probably about $300 worth of apps already. And I use it a lot to watch movies, play games, and do common email and calendaring tasks on my couch. I just this morning got the Motorola Xoom, and I've been tracking a lot of the different tablets on the market. I was at the HP touchpad launch. I've certainly been playing with the all the Windows tablets for years. I used to work at NEC, and when they sold the first tablet there running the Microsoft OS, and I've also was at the Motorola Xoom launch at the Consumer Electronics Show and saw the Research in Motion playbook. So I'm watching what's going on here, and the new Android Honeycomb OS is pretty interesting. It's really gotten me a lot more excited than I expected to as an iPad lover. Some things that you'll notice right away is that multitasking on the Motorola is much better than the iPad. The iPad, you have to click twice to see all of the apps that are running, and this lets you switch and go back and forth between apps much quicker than Apple does. Apple, you have to keep double clicking to go back and forth between apps, and it doesn't present a common view on the screen the way that the Android tablet OS does. The other thing that I've noticed is the common Google apps are way better on the Motorola Xoom. Gmail is a full version of Gmail, where the version of Gmail on the iPad doesn't even let me mark emails as spam. Things like Google Maps has turn-by-turn navigation on the Motorola Xoom. It doesn't have that on the iOS devices, not yet at least. Now pricing, this is about $500 with Wi-Fi. This is going to be about $800, but it comes with 3G Verizon built in. So when you actually add Verizon or add 3G to the iPad, it comes out to be a pretty similar price. The screen resolution on this is much better. And watching a movie on the Motorola Xoom is nicer than watching it on the lower res screen. Now, of course, in April, we're expecting to see an iPad 2, which will have supposedly a higher resolution screen. There's lots of rumors, but we haven't seen it yet, so that's coming. You'll notice that on the device, there's 2 cameras. There's a camera in the back with a double flash, and there's a camera on the front for doing Skype and stuff like that. The iPad doesn't yet do that. It also comes with this dock, which can sit on your desk, and it looks really nice, and it charges. Where on iPad you have to buy a pillow or an arm of some kind before you can really use it. Some other things I've noticed. Apple still is winning on apps, and that's going to be a huge problem this year for the Android devices, and certainly for the HP devices, which don't have any apps yet. Android, at least you can run all the common Android apps that go on your phone, although they're stretched out and really not designed for this large form factor. They work better on the Galaxy Tab, for instance, which is a smaller 7-inch tablet. Some other key things. If you need to do a presentation, this has an HDMI slot. Let me just pull it out here. There's an HDMI slot that you can plug right into a high-res TV, which is really nice for going downstairs and showing your mother-in-law or whatever pictures or video, right? This has a weird connector. You have to go and buy an adapter, which costs you some money. And the mirroring works better on the Android OS than on the iPad. Other things that I've noticed so far, calendar. I like the calendaring, and I like the Google Mail on the iPad. When you sign in on the Motorola Xoom, you sign in with your Gmail password and account, and everything just shows up. Your calendar shows up, your contacts show up, everything you've saved into the Google World shows up. And you'd expect that because of the integration, that Android does. Here you have to hook it up to, on the iPad, you have to hook it up to iTunes to get it to work. And that's going to be a straight out of the box. I haven't hooked this up to a computer at all, and it's already really rocking and rolling. In short, advantages here: screen resolution. Battery life, I'm not sure yet. I need a week with these devices to really tell you. They promised me that they're getting 10 hours of battery life. I'm getting about 10 hours on the iPad. We'll know that more about that in a week. Speed seems faster on the Motorola Xoom than on the iPad one. Multitasking is better on the Motorola than on the iPad one, but the real killer for the Motorola is going to be apps, and there's Flipboard and Skyview and all sorts of different games that have been designed for the iPad, and that's going to be a real differentiator for Apple for a long time. So overall, if you're really a Google freak, absolutely the Motorola is a great device. I'm really excited to have one. If you're more of a common everyday person who cares mostly about apps, the iPad's going to be the way to go for a while.